Typically, by this point in a presidential race, the campaigns will say privately and with some confidence what their internal numbers tell them is going to happen on Election Day. Not this year. Another batch of polls this week showed us what we already know. It's going to be very close, especially in the battleground states that will swing the election. So how did that small group of states, whose membership has changed over the years, come to wield so much electoral clout? NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Tsirkin has our Sunday focus.
Special hello to Georgia.
I love you too.
We love you, Las Vegas.
Of the 50 states that will tally votes this election day, voters in just 7 of them are likely to determine the next president: Arizona, Michigan, Georgia, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. And if you live in one of these so-called battlegrounds, you are at the center of the political universe.
Kamala Harris failed.
Trump is not fit to be president again.
With a lot of political power.
Too many ads. I think we ought to put a limit on that.
I hear it every day, 24/7.
So why does a national race come down to just a handful of states? To answer that, we need to understand the Electoral College. And it's in large part thanks to
Alexander
Hamilton and the founding fathers couldn't decide whether the people or Congress should choose the president. They eventually compromised, and in 1787, the Electoral College was born. Every state is given a number of electoral votes equal to its number of House members and senators in Congress. That totals 538, which is why the candidate who collects 270 electoral votes, one more than half, claims the presidency. It also means a candidate who loses the popular vote can still win the White House. It's already happened 5 times in U.S. history, including most recently to Donald Trump in 2016. With polling, the campaigns already have a very good sense of how people in more than 40 of the 50 states are going to vote. And both sides also know they have to find a few more electoral votes to win.
It's about a few swing voters in a few swing counties located in a few swing states that are deciding the election.
So in the 2024 race, Trump and Harris have zeroed in on the so-called Significant 7, spending millions on rallies, TV ads, and texts, trying to tip those states in their favor.
So how should voters in the other 43 states feel going into the presidential election?
They're probably feeling a little ignored. They shouldn't forget about Congress. They shouldn't forget about the House of Representatives, the Senate.
Battlegrounds do shift over time. So it's not always the same swing states deciding the election.
They need Florida. Florida, 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 Florida.
In the 2000 election, it was all about Florida. Today, the Sunshine State is solidly red, with places like Pennsylvania and Georgia now in play. But in a nation of 350 million people from sea to shining sea, this election will hinge on the votes of a tiny fraction.
This election is down to what about 150,000 to 200,000 voters are going to do across the 7 states.
And Julie joins me now live. Julie, good morning. It's great to see you. So election officials are cautioning voters already that we likely will not know the final results of the vote in some of those states on election night. And we know from experience, bad actors will fill that void with conspiracy theories. So how long might it take to get the final count in these states that are so close?
Yeah, hey, Willie, good morning. You're absolutely right. It might take a few days in a few of the states, but that delay does not mean anything is wrong. Remember, some states receive mailed ballots after Election Day, for example, so the votes aren't counted until later, Willie. Other states give voters more time to provide identification, such as a driver's license, to confirm their eligibility. Election officials, though, are hoping things run more smoothly this year than back in 2020 when there were delays. Many states streamlined workflows to process early votes. There are also more poll workers and beefed up security in place. But because the race between Harris and Trump, as you said, is so tight, especially in the handful of battlegrounds we talked about, Americans might have to wait to find out who's in charge for the next 4 years. Willie?
But as you point, the good news is there's a lot of new technology and a lot in place to speed this along and keep it secure. Julie Tsirkin, fascinating look at this. Thanks so much, Julie. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or Click the link right here.